President Trump has revoked temporary protection status for Venezuelans, meaning millions are now left without protection, some learning their fate within the past 48 hours. Our Joy Addison joining us now here in studio with a closer look at the large number of people being impacted. Joy.
Andy, that's right. Well, over the past couple of days, over 1 million people have found out that their temporary protective status is changing. We can take a look at those numbers here. That'll pop up just behind me. So Venezuelans covered by TPS in 2023, we had around 600,000 of those people that had their status canceled. And then for the humanitarian parole program, 550,000 people were under that program and had their status canceled. That's people from Haiti, Cuba, Venezuela, and other countries where they were seeking some type of help here in the United States. But over 1 million people have recently found out that they won't have their status here in the United States. And I wanted to know what this felt like. So I found one man from Venezuela who was under a temporary status that he got in 2023. This is what he had to say.
Claro. Of course, every day you wake up and you go out, even if you're going to work from the app, and you're always on alert, looking around to make sure no one is behind you. They can grab you and handcuff you and throw you away. You don't even know when they're going to be taking you. They might make you go through a hard time, and that's not what we're looking for.
All right, Joy, this is such a tense time for so many families all across our area. A lot of Venezuelans, they come here to the U.S. for different reasons. Why did he make the difficult decision to leave home?
He says it's because of the state of the government in Venezuela. He says because of the widespread corruption. He says there aren't livable wages there. Now, he actually works in construction here in the United States. He had the same job in Venezuela. He says here in just 3 years, he was able to afford a car, a home, and livable wages to enjoy his life here in the U.S. But he says as far as his life back in Venezuela, working in construction, just to give you a comparison, he cannot even afford a car.
Hey, you said he came here to work construction. What was the original plan when he first came to the U.S.?
He really didn't have a plan when it comes to work, but he knew that he could get temporary status. He was hoping to continue to renew that status and then eventually become a legal citizen. He does have a family back in Venezuela, so he'd hoped that he could get some type of status for his children and then eventually sponsor them and bring his entire family here to the United States. Now he's just saying he hopes that something will change, and that's still possible. He's working with his attorney to see if anything changes.
He certainly is holding out hope and taking the necessary steps. How long does he have until his TPS expires?
Now, his last day here is supposed to be April 2nd. He says that he's preparing himself for either outcome, whether he stays here or goes back to his life in Venezuela. He says that he's hopeful that something will work out, and strangely enough, it's because of the changes. He says things are changing every day, and just like status was revoked, he's hoping that his status could stay or be extended, and his renewal will give him enough time to have something a little bit more permanent.
If it were possible to bring them, I would. That was the idea. But since there was always something missing from the paperwork, I needed this, I needed that. All the legal paperwork was done in my part at least, but the parole process was always something missing. I even paid all my taxes since I've been here. But now that they have the eliminated humanitarian parole, it's no longer an option, and I have to leave them all behind. During all of this time I've been here, 3 years, I've only been working, fighting for a better quality of life. But now I've said, well, this is as far as the bridge goes. There's nothing more that can be done. It's like I'm in limbo right now.
Overall, he says the fast-moving restrictions are what are keeping him hopeful, like I mentioned. And he says that he'll hold on to that TPS status as long as he can, but he's waking up daily and praying that something changes and he doesn't have to disappoint his family with the hope that they had of one day joining him here in the United States. Live in the studio, Joy Addison with KPRC 2 News.